Hello my fellow coders, welcome back to Think and Code, and today we are going to build a server. We're going to set it up real fast and it's about 150 lines only. So let's get started. So this is what your server will look like. You'll find a link like this. If you click on it, you'll go to a place like this. As I previously showed you in the Pokemon video, this is a JSON response file. So we need an API or UI to work it. So we have something called a Swagger UI. So that's what we're going to use. And these are all the things we'll get post, boot, and delete. This were the HTTP requests we talked about in the last videos. If you haven't checked it out, you can check it out. The link is in the description below. So okay, let's start. To start with, what we need to do is we need to import some libraries. We are going to start with the CSV because that is what we are going to use to store our data. And then we are going to import OS. And then we are going to use a FastAPI. Import FastAPI, HTTP exception from Pydantic import BaseModel. So what we are doing here is basically creating API using the FastAPI library and Pydantic. So for the FastAPI, this is something we need to install in our project. If we install it globally, think of it like we are putting all our toys in the same box, and when you want to make a Lego piece or if you want a Monopoly piece, everything is mixed together and it's going to take hours for us to search and it's going to be a big hassle. So for every project, what we are going to do is we are going to make a container, and that container is what we called a virtual environment. We talked about this in the previous video as well. To make a virtual machine, what we need to do is, if you see the terminal here, click here to open the terminal, or Alt F2 to open another terminal. When you have the terminal, what I want you to do is Python -m venv, and venv. venv stands for virtual environment, and this is just the name. This can be anything. It can be my env or think env, anything, and it will build a virtual machine with the name of the name you gave it. So I'm just going to use venv since it's easier, and it's going to take a little while. And as you can see, we have the venv, and to activate it, what we are going to do is // and we are going to do venv/script/activate, and then you'll see this green venv right here. That means your virtual environment has been installed and you are inside your virtual environment. Now everything you do should be inside this virtual environment. All right, then we are going to do pip install FastAPI and Uvicorn. This Uvicorn is the library that will help us run the FastAPI server. That's how we are going to do it, and it's going to take a while to install. As you can see, mine just got installed. Let's minimize it. Next, what we're going to do is we're gonna initiate the FastAPI. App equals to FastAPI title equals to do list app. Now what we're going to do is first make sure we have a CSV file, and then we'll have field names. These are the only things we're going to use for now, for simplicity's sake. Now I'm going to use some class we haven't talked about, or I haven't made a video on classes. So if you want a different video on OOP, object oriented programming, I can always do that. But if you just want me to do more projects rather than teach theoretically, then you can just drop a comment down below and I'll add the references for OOP from other channels that I know of. So what we are doing is, class is basically a blueprint, and this is the object of the blueprint. For now, that's the simplest way to understand it. So if you want me to make an in-depth video, like I said, you can always let me know in the comments. We made two classes. That's to make the blueprint for TaskCreate and TaskUpdate. As you can see, TaskCreate only has tasks and it's a string, and TaskUpdate has only status and it's a string. We're only going to add a task while we're creating a task, and we are only going to update the status when we're updating the task. So now with the initial setup done, what we can do is start with our main function, or this time around what we can do is start with @app.onEvent startup. That means I want you to start the app when the event startup happens, and then we're going to do def startup, and this will be init/csv. Now we don't have a function called init/csv, so what we're going to do is we're going to make it. So these are what we call decorators. It helps add functionalities to the functions we already have. So let's create a def init_csv. This is what we did here, is write in a CSV file with the name task.csv, and the column for those CSV should be field names, our field names as here. So next we're going to do write header, and this will initiate our CSV file. If we don't have a CSV file, it will create one. So next we can start with getting a task. Let's say def get task. That means we're going to read everything inside this file and we're going to return a list of it. Now next, what we're going to do is def add task. So what we did here was pretty simple. So we took a parameter task text, and task text will be the text that that will be our task itself. And next ID, we did that using this, where if we have a task, we will add 1 to it. If no, we'll start with 1. This is basically sequential increment, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And next is what we did. We created a dictionary of a new task, and then we wrote it to the file itself. Now let's move on to update status. Now moving forward, we are going to make a delete task, def remove task. So let me explain both of this. In update task, what we did was we took a task ID and a new status as a parameter. Task ID will help us find the tasks that we need to update the status of. So we got all the tasks from using get tasks, the function we built here, and then we initiated a updated tasks variable where the updated tasks will be stored, and we loop through the tasks, all the tasks we have currently, and we found if the ID of string matches or not. If the string does matches, the task ID matches with the one we have given here, what we are going to do is we're going to take the status and we're going to update it to the new status we want, and then we'll assign the tasks, the updated tasks, to the updated tasks. Now if updated task is still none, right, then we'll return none. Else what we are going to do is we are going to open the CSV file and we are going to rewrite the whole file with the updated tasks, and then we are going to return the updated tasks. So as you can already see, the major bottleneck here is that if you have a lot of updates or a lot of deletes we have to write the file again and again and again and again. So that could create a lot of chaos. So that is why in the next video, I'm going to talk about how to connect this to an actual real database, which will make this a lot easier. So as you can see, we created a remove task. It was similar to the updated task. We got the task, then we looked at all the remaining tasks, and if the ID matches, ID does not match, we'll leave it as that. And if it does, we'll get all the tasks, and then we'll see the length of the remaining and equals to the length of the tasks, right? All the tasks, remaining tasks plus the tasks. And if they are equal, we'll return false. Else what we're going to do is we're going to change the whole file again with the deleted task removed. Now, usually most of our project is finished right here, but now the actual part starts. Now we are going to use a lot of decorators. We're going to do app.get, and we're going to do /tasks, and this will be the behind the URL kind of thing. As you saw previously on this, we did tasks, right? This is the one that is we are going to access the get from this. And what we're going to do is we're just going to define the route for get task, and this will return a function, that is the function it get task function. We are going to return this function every time we visit our URL. This is our local URL, and /task, we are going to return this function. And what does this function do? It shows all the tasks. And app.post, and we're going to do /tasks, and then we're going to do status code equals to 201. That is the success response. So return, and then we're going to do what's happening here is whenever we go to tasks and the method is post, we will add a new task. We will run this function which will create a new task, as you can see, which will create a new task. It's simple as that. We are just assigning what path will create what. So these are paths, and we're just assigning that if we are on a certain path, what it will do, what actions it will take, or what functions it will run. App.put now, and we are going to do this time, we did a curly bracket and a task ID. This is when we take the parameter in this. If we do 1, this will be a parameter now because it's in a curly bracket and we are assigning it task ID. And now let's do def route update task, and we're going to do task ID. We are going to take this task ID and give it to the function, our route function, and then we are going to do task update as task update. Yeah, so the task update and the task create part of it comes from this classes, this blueprints we created. This is where it's used. So as you can see, the below part is basically a function. It's just this decorator that we need to learn now. So app.delete, now task ID again, because we need a task ID to delete it as well. So def route, and also if not success, that means if this function return false, what we're going to do, we're going to show an error or raise an exception, raise STP exception, that is status code 404, and same as previously, task not found. And then we're going to return a message F. If this is not the case, if we had a success, we are going to return this, and this will be the output we'll get to see. Now we are done with the coding. Like as I said, it's almost 120 lines, but we made our first server. Now what do we do is, usually before we used to run it from here. If we run it from here, we'll get an error. As you can see, we can't run it like that. So now what we need to do is we're going to do Uvicorn and main is the name of our file, and then app is the name of our app. So app and dash reload. And if we run this, we got an error. What is the error? Do we have a problem in the imports? So the error here is caused by import name start Unix server, and we don't have anything like that. But look at here, we imported it but never used it. This is something we don't need. Just delete it. Yeah. So it reloaded automatically. Now the app is about to start. Application startup complete. So let's do this once more time. You can do Control C to or Command C to finish the server, and we're going to do it again. As you can see, our tasks.csv was created, and as you can see, we have 3 folders, 3 columns here. And now if we click at Control C to stop or quit, and if we press Control and click in this particular one, we'll go to a website like this. As you can see, just click, and to go to the UI, we were in the demo, we can do docs/docs. The path is our URL /paths. As you can see, this is the URL we got. This was the thing we got on our demo. First, let's try it out and execute. We have nothing. The response body is empty, and the post body, let's post something. Let's say laundry and execute. It was successful. As you can see, we have a new task. Let's try to execute get task again. As you can see, we got another task. Let's add one more, laundry, and let's do this and execute. As you can see, we have our ID2, a second task, and if we execute this again, we have 2 tasks. So now what we are going to do is only update a single one. So we are going to update the second task ID2, and what we're going to do is we're going to say it's done. We have done the dishes. Execute. It was successful. And if we execute, okay, that was the third. We added another one, right? We can delete it always. So as you can see, our task 2 was done, and this was the one we just added. And let's see, we have a duplicate task that was already done, so I don't need this. I will delete this. Let's go to the delete and let's try it, and we want 3 deleted. Execute. So 3 has been removed. Task 3 has been removed. If we execute again, task 3 was not found because it was already deleted. And if we go to the get and get all the tasks again, as you can see, our third ID was deleted. So that was how you could make a Swagger UI and FastAPI server really quickly. In the next video, we're going to talk about how to connect this to a actual database rather than just a CSV file. So that way it will be easier for us to work through creating, updating, reading, and deleting data. So for the next video, you can always watch a Postgres SQL installation video before we jump in, but I'll also teach you how to download it in the next video. And maybe we will even add a simple CLI based front end for the client for the next one. Instead of going to Swagger UI, we can just create a CLI based app like previously. So that is it for today, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy coding, keep coding.